Hi, it's Lewis. As a team, we sat down to watch the Brighton SEO talk called How Videos Can Elevate Your Google Rankings and Improve Your EEAT. We sat down to have a conversation about it afterwards, and this is the recording. We hope you find this as enjoyable and informative as we did. Hi, and welcome to QuadCast. I'm Lewis, and today I'm joined by Sara, Kirsty, Tim and Em, and today we're going to discuss how video can elevate your Google ranking and improve your EEAT. Sara?
So we've just watched a video from Brighton SEO by Ben, who was talking about this subject, and now we're going to have a conversation between ourselves about some of the points that he raised. So I think the first bit that seemed quite interesting was where he was talking about content goblins and the idea being that people just create content for the sake of it, whereas obviously with video you can't really do that. He was also mentioning that people can obviously steal written content where they can't with video. So I guess we can start by thinking about whether there's anywhere that we could actually use video to enhance what we're already talking about on either our website or client websites.
He said about using video to give context, didn't he, where text and images don't give that context.
Yeah.
So he used an example of being able to tie a tie. So if you look at images of that step-by-step instructions, it doesn't quite do the same as a video, and it doesn't quite capture how easily that can be done and how quickly you can get that information.
Yeah. I bet there's things then relating to what our clients need that we could turn into video content, maybe.
Yeah, there's potentially stuff. The wood care products, for example, maybe applying, looking after, mixing, all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
If they say you can use paintbrushes, sponges, rags, all sorts of things, and so maybe just show how different things could be used more effectively.
And that helps with EEAT as well, doesn't it? Because it shows their knowledge of the subject and that they are experienced in that field.
Yeah, definitely. So I wonder whether there's anything we can do on the AlphaQuad website with video to enhance what we're talking about.
Something that got my attention is when he spoke about the LAX video. So he was talking about directions from the plane to the car rentals, was it?
Yeah.
And he was saying that if you look at that search volume for that, it's got nothing. But if you Google it, you will see a video which has had something like 23,000 views. Yeah. And it shows really, really simple, someone with their phone walking you through the airport and then over to the car rentals. And it's clearly very, very useful content because a lot of people have watched it and presumably found the car rentals. So I wonder if we could do something for AlphaQuad. Everyone always gets lost trying to find our offices, don't they?
Yeah, so show whereabouts actually on the business park we are.
Through the archway. And for destinations, people do quite often take videos of walkthroughs of how to get to places and what to expect from an accessibility point of view for people who might be nervous about going to a place. So if you were potentially a big school and you're advertising an open day, you might want to give somebody a feel of what they were going to see. I mean, it's like the Google Street View walkthrough stuff to a certain extent, but more personalised and probably higher quality.
Going back to the AlphaQuad site as well, I wonder if it would be worth doing like screen share videos, for example, of this is how you invite us to your Facebook page so we can manage it. This is how you can add us to LinkedIn.
I wonder how a video frequently asked questions would work. You'd get all the enhancements of an FAQ structure along with the.
Well, I suppose
let's do it.
If you upload that to YouTube, you can include chapters. So it's I don't know how that would necessarily work with SEO per se, but obviously if you've got then that key index of where you can find all of these relevant pieces of information, then that would.
And you'd have the transcript as well, so that's where you'd incorporate the relevant keywords.
Yeah, because we could just think about the kind of questions we get asked a lot by clients and turn it into videos. Things like also, how do you leave a Google review and things like that.
Yeah, because previously we have written up or drawn up a guide on how to do a Google review, but actually in context a video would be so much easier.
Yeah.
Quicker. Everyone wants information quicker, don't they?
Yeah. No one wants to spend... I mean, the example they showed, it was going to take 45 minutes to find a cheesecake recipe.
Yeah.
Scrolling through an article when you just want it then and there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You could have made it in that time.
You could have made it in that time and eaten
And
it.
eat it.
I think one of the interesting things from the talk was how he was getting some ideas from ChatGPT.
Yeah, that looked really good. We should try that.
We should. Shall we try it now?
Yes.
Let's try it now.
Let's do
Oh, a
it.
live demonstration. Oh.
Do we need the prompt that he got? Have you
So
got?
I have the prompt here.
Excellent.
So I work as an SEO for a digital marketing agency and want to enhance our customers' experience through video. Where do you think videos could improve our customers' experience and perception of our brand as trustworthy and authoritative in SEO and digital marketing?
Excellent. Let's see what it suggests for Alpha Quad.
Drum roll.
So the first thing I'm getting from the results here is that it's very generic. So I think if we wanted to, I think we'd need to carry out a few more.
Do we need to refine the prompt?
We may need to refine the prompt a little bit to get a few more specific ideas, but just to give some suggestions here. So obviously an introduction to the company and key team members, overview of services, etc. This is quite a nice touch. So narrating the company journey, so evolution of services and achievements and whatnot.
See, we'd had a conversation previously about putting the kind of timeline of Alpha Quad into like almost like an infographic style. I wonder if we could turn that into a video as well.
So educational content. So that's really a big area, isn't it? And I guess that's where, where people could find us in the simplest form, where we are located on the business park. But then just little bits and pieces like that we'd use sort of with clients, with the things that they frequently ask us and stuff, if we sort of incorporated those into...
Yeah, I think on the video as well, he used the ChatGPT content to validate ideas that he'd gone through with his experience and gut instinct on what might work.
Yeah.
Because the one he dropped in there did actually validate his LAX rental parking thing. So you wouldn't necessarily have to lean straight onto GPT for your inspiration, but because of the lack of volume data on YouTube search, it's a good way of like going back and seeing whether it makes sense.
Yeah.
He mentioned that brainstorming was really important, didn't he? So it'd be a case of doing a bit like this, sitting around chatting together and trying to think of things that we think.
Yeah, taking ideas as a starting point and refining.
Yeah.
One of the other interesting things from the talk was the use of TikTok as a search engine.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that. So I
Yeah.
think with this stat that 51% of Gen Z women use TikTok as a search engine rather than Google.
Yeah.
So we'd need to sort of think about, as an agency, I don't think we do a huge amount on TikTok at the moment with clients. But have we got any clients where that's the market that we actually ought to consider?
So that's what age group is that?
96?
Yeah, 96 to 2012, so what would that be now? 28 to 12.
12.
So...
That's a fairly broad scatter.
That is.
It's a very broad...
Yeah, so I mean we'd be looking at sort of 18 to
28,
really, which is probably not a huge, considering we do mostly B2B, it's not going to be a huge area of our market.
No.
But I think we need to consider that these people are going to be 10 years older in 10 years time.
Yeah.
and the people who are sort of at the lower end of that age range now are going to be, adults in 10 years time.
And the people
probably still using the same sort of habits.
Yeah. And people at the top end are going to be within our target market pretty soon, really.
Yeah.
I was just surprised it was such a huge stat, because we still always think of Google as being a big search engine, or the biggest search engine, but actually...
Yeah, so it was Google first, YouTube second, and now it looks like...
TikTok's going to overtake. Which apparently is down to the fact that obviously TikTok's all video, and that's how that age range like to consume their content.
Yeah, also consuming their video content in vertical format rather than horizontal, like everybody's television and cinema and everything else works. So you do have to shoot TikTok video in that specific format, which is a bit of a bind.
It does make it really awkward to record and film TikTok content. It's not as fun to film, whereas when you're doing something landscape, I think you might have an idea of this as well. You've got more of a idea of what the frame will look like, whereas portrait is much more singular.
Reach straight for your phone rather than an actual video camera or a SLR.
Yeah.
So when we do the video for how to get to the Alpha Quad office, shall we try a portrait version?
Yeah.
Recorded on a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if somebody was wandering around the park with their phone out, that would make sense as well. But I still object to the vertical format.
Yeah, I object to the vertical format, and I am Gen Z, so...
I was quite entertained by the fact that Reddit videos aren't indexed, and that he was quite happy about that, because we seem to be being overrun by Reddit content in search in general, so lobbing their video content in would probably be the final straw.
Well, Reddit is a modern hellscape, so
He was very against it.
it's very against it, which is perfectly understandable.
I wonder if that will change over time, because we're seeing, obviously, as you mentioned, Reddit getting ranked a lot more, especially with the move to AI and things where we're moving towards a lot more question-based searching. So obviously Reddit is perfectly aligned to that, and they're getting ranked a lot. If over time Reddit video content will also be ranked, and if it follows suit like the sort of written content on Reddit, if it's going to be ranked well, whether we need to be getting ahead of the curve and actually having some video content on there.
Yeah, I think it depends on whether Google decide that Reddit video is going to be competing too heavily with their YouTube videos, in which case they might accidentally just suppress it.
You do see Reddit in general quite a lot. So for one of my clients, I do social listening and brand monitoring, and when I'm on the platform looking at mentions of their brand and of competitor brands, I see a lot of Reddit. It's one of the most popular platforms, really, so it is definitely becoming a thing.
Yeah, well, Reddit's been the... I don't enjoy using Reddit as a general user, but there is a community for absolutely everybody on there. So it's been that way since... I mean, it was Tumblr and Reddit were like the alt Twitter and Facebook back when I was in high school, so it was... Not a fan of using it. Tumblr, absolutely loved. Rest in power.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah, I think probably the last point that came up was when he was saying about if you make a video and it turns up in the SGE content, you mentioned it briefly earlier on, that your content might be taken, mashed up and moved around if it's text content. But if you get video into that context, it won't be edited on the fly. It'll always be yours, it'll always be on brand, and it'll always be clickable through to you.
Yeah.
So as we move beyond things like just the rich snippets and things like that, then it's definitely something to think about.
It really is unique.
Yeah, and that's the bit that's really important for EEAT, because nobody can copy someone originally talking on video.
So we've got plenty to go away with, like the trying out our FAQ videos on the Alpha Quad site, and maybe we come back if we can make some baseline metrics and see if it actually works.
Yes. Let's go.
Excellent.
Watch this space for Alpha Quad FAQ videos.
Absolutely.
We hope that you enjoyed our discussion on the Brighton SEO talk. There's a lot that can be learned from valuable resources like Brighton SEO, and while we are an SEO agency, it never hurts to learn and implement new skills. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!